Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, Egan is just a warrior. It's going to be very, very tough to replace like such a great player like that. She just every day she come and she wants to battle, and she's just tough. She's just tough, and she know her job.
Griffin, I should say, gets it to Adams. Mayo feeds the post. Dickinson off the glass and good. 2 more for Hunter Dickinson. It's 29 for the big fella.
I felt like I was due for one. Why not? On senior night, my last one in the field house. It's more to read. We ended up getting really good in something, but obviously this one went a little more. I know the other seniors as well felt the same way, so it kind of means everything to me. This play just got to build my whole life here. We're really good enough, and this game is remembered for the rest of my life, so I'm just glad that it ended like this.
Hawkins still up, toying with the dribble, poked away by Kurt Jones and cleared by Kurt. Cyclones on the run, Heisey to the bucket, right hand layup, good.
Credit to Iowa State. They did a great job. They turned us over 17 times. That resulted in 22 points. They were live turnovers, right? Like, there's no defense for live ball turnovers.
We got to go in, make sure we win the game, and we got to learn from our mistakes from this game. Obviously, Iowa State is a good team, but we shot ourselves in the foot a couple times, and then we can't do that going into the tournament.
Andrews will throw it up at the buzzer. And another chapter to a remarkable story. From last place 2 years ago to Big 12 tournament champions.
That sounded good. Yep. That's going to go a long way to right field, and spring training home run number 3.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB. 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome to the Monday show. Steve Webster with you in the Mayo Money Management Studios today. Our executive producer of Sports Day is Landon Winkler, and he is in studio with me today as well. Okay, on the Monday show, recap of the weekend coming up, and there's a lot of things to talk about, including a lot of high school basketball. We had some area teams advance on to the state tournament. Some came up just short. Still a great year for many of these teams. We'll run over all of them with Great Bend Tribune's Jim Mazunas. Barton Wrestling at the national tournament over the weekend in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Nathan Brockelman will be in to put a bow on the Barton wrestling season. And the Lady Cougars survive and advance. They were in a heck of a game with Garden City on Saturday, but they prevail, so they will play tomorrow on the road at number 1 seed Dodge City. Time to shock the world. We'll talk about the Lady Cougars with head coach Alan Clark coming up here on the show today. But let's get started with, sounds of the weekend and some sports headlines for you today. First of all, Barton assistant coach Annie Casongo. That was after the Lady Cougars picked up their win on Saturday over Garden City. Vivian Onaha has just been unbelievable. I mean, it's just like, okay, well, yeah, she had 29 points and 21 rebounds. Are you serious? Oh, by the way, she had a block and 2 steals. Annie Casongo talking about, she's going to be hard to replace. Well, not yet. She's got at least one more game in her. Let's see if she can lead the Lady Cougars to an upset over Dodge City tomorrow night. That was a heck of a game. 13 lead changes in that game. And Barton went on a 7-0 run late to secure the win. How about Brittany Simpson? Remember when she was in here on Sports Day? Said her brother told her to just let it fly. Well, she let it fly yesterday. 4 3-pointers. She scored 12. And Brittany was 4 of 8 behind the arc. So Barton will play tomorrow on the road. We'll have that game for you right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Mike Hesher will be doing the game out in Dodge City tomorrow. That's because the Barton men also play tomorrow night. They will be at home at the Kirkman Center hosting 11 seed Cloud County, who upset 6 seed Colby Saturday, 85-83. The 3rd seeded Cougars had a first-round bye. Cole Reif back from his deathbed. I saw him this morning. He looks a little peaked, but I think he'll be ready to go after dealing with the crud that's been going around. So he'll have that call for you tomorrow on B1043 The Point. Other matchups in the Region 6 tournament tomorrow. These are quarterfinal games. On the men's side, Dodge City, a number 9 seed. They will be in Arc City tomorrow to take on the number 1 seeded Cali Tigers. Butler, the 5 seed, plays at number 4 seed Hutchinson tomorrow. Barton at home against Cloud County. And Garden City, the 7 seed, plays at number 2 seed Coffeyville. Women's quarterfinals tomorrow. Barton, the 8 seed, at number 1 seed Dodge. 7 seed Cloud at number 2 seed Hutchinson. Number 6 seed Seward County at number 3 seed Coffeyville. And number 5 seed Cowley is at number 4 seed Butler. All right, KU, K-State putting an end to their regular seasons over the weekend. The call on ESPN Saturday, John Shambi, as Hunter Dickerson scored 2 of his career-high tying 33 points in the second half. That helped KU ease past Arizona 83-76 at Allen Fieldhouse. Senior Zeke Mayo drilled 5 3-pointers, had 20 points for KU, who reached the 20-win mark for the 36th straight year. KJ Adams, he had 12 points, including 3 dunks in his final game at Allen Fieldhouse. That has pretty much been his home for the last few years. He helped the Jayhawks win on Senior Day for the 42nd consecutive senior night victory for Kansas. KU plays Wednesday in the Big 12 tournament at 8:30 against the winner of Utah versus UCF, who play on Tuesday. In Manhattan, well, not very many seniors, not a lot of energy except for the power supplied by the Iowa State Cyclones. A call from John Walters Saturday on Lear Field. Nate Heisey scored on a layup. That gave the Cyclones a 44-34 lead. Iowa State beat the Wildcats 73-57. Boy, K-State struggled. They were led by David Gasson with 19 points, but Jerome Tang talking about his team, who shot just 38% from the field, 9% from three-point range, had 17 turnovers in the game. Many of them turned into layups for the Cyclones. K-State plays tomorrow in the Big 12 tournament at 6 against Arizona State. Wildcat guard Max Jones talking about that first-round matchup. Just go out and, yeah, it's a long one. Okay, if you win tomorrow, then you got to win on Wednesday, then you'd have to win on Thursday, then you'd have to win on Friday, and then you'd have to win a championship game on Saturday. That's probably not going to happen for the 15 and 16 Wildcats. I don't think that happens for anybody, having to play that many games. The Big 12 tournament starts tomorrow in Kansas City. 11:30 tip, Oklahoma State against 13 seed Cincinnati. Then it's TCU against Colorado. Kansas State will play Arizona State at 6. Utah plays UCF at 8:30. KU gets a winner of that Utah-UCF game. If Kansas State could win, they would play Baylor at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. You can see the entire schedule at GreatBendPost.com. The call yesterday on ESPN. Number 8 seed TCU beating Baylor in the championship game on the women's side, 64-59. Yeah, TCU finished in last place in the Big 12 2 years ago, all the way to Big 12 champion this year. And our final sound of the past past weekend came from yesterday.
That sounded good.
Yeah, that's the sound of a 114.6 mile per hour collision of bat and ball off the back of Jack Caglione. He capped an 8-pitch at bat against Brewers righty Aaron Savale. 444-foot home run in the right field concourse. Caglione, the number 2 prospect in MLB Pipeline's top 100 list, made quite the impression over the first few weeks of spring training, including that home run yesterday against Milwaukee. That was his 3rd of the spring. Jack Caglione making the major leagues this year? Well, it might be a little bit tough. He's a first baseman. Let's see, Vinny Pasquantino's already at first. Salvador Perez is playing at first, so I don't know if we'll see him up this year or not, but boy, making some noise as the Royals' number 1 draft pick in last year's draft. Okay, some headlines from the weekend. Sub-state championship basketball games. And for the Central Plains boys and girls, they will both be playing this week in Dodge City. Saturday night, the Central Plains boys beat Greeley County out in Colby 56-50. That's after the Lady Oilers picked up a win On Friday in Colby, they beat Rollins County by the score of 58-48. Other scores from the weekend. St. John girls, they are moving on to the 1A D1 tournament after they beat Spearville 53-43. And it wasn't as good of news for the Ellenwood Lady Eagles. They lost in Sublette on Saturday to Phillipsburg 43-31. Still a great season. Ellenwood is going to go on a roll here with all those young players they have coming back. They're going to be a story in Class 2A for the next few seasons. Other scores from the weekend, we'll start with boys in Class 5A. Andover defeated Hayes 62-40. So if Great Bend's not going to the state, I don't know if I'd want Hayes to. So, and they're not. Dighton boys defeated Hodgman County 72-52 Saturday. That was at the 1A Division II tournament. So Dighton moves on to this week's state tournament. And from the Western Athletic Conference, Garden City got beat by Derby in the championship game, tried to go on to the 6A tournament, 74-33. And Liberal dropped a 68-57 overtime decision to Wichita East. So East knocks Liberal girls out of the state tournament or sub-state. The Pratt boys, what a story for them. They're going to 4A state. They beat Hugoton on Saturday or Friday in the 4A sub-state championship game, 47-40. So congratulations to Chris Batten and the Pratt Greenbacks for making it. 1A girls on Friday, mentioned St. John and Central Plains both getting wins. Little River, they will be at 1A Division I in Dodge City. They beat Madison 71-57. And the Hodgman County girls are going to the 1A Division II tournament in Colby. They defeated Cheyenne by the score of 44-30 on Friday. First round matchups at the 1A Division I state tournament in Dodge City. This will be Wednesday. St. John 18-5 taking on 23-0 Centralia. Central Plains 19-3 taking on 21-1 Troy at 4 o'clock. And then the Little River girls will play Colony Crest at 6. Central Plains boys, they play at 4 o'clock on Thursday in Dodge City. They will play Frankfort, who has won 18 games this year, same number as Central Plains. Little River boys will play at 2 o'clock on Thursday in Dodge City. They will play Opie. The Hodgman County girls will play their first round game at 1A Division II State in Colby on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. They will take on Lebo, and then the Dighton boys will play at 8 o'clock on Thursday. It'll be Dighton against Lebo. Pratt boys play Andale at 8 o'clock Wednesday in Salina in their first round game. And I didn't even mention the Hayes High girls. They're 22-0. They beat Hutchinson 56-17 Friday night in the 5A Sub-State Championship game. They are really good. They're really fun to watch. I think they've got a chance at winning 5A, and they will start against the team that knocked the football team out in the state championship game in 5A football. St. Thomas Aquinas is only 15-7, but taking on Hayes High, who is 22-0. Barton baseball off to a great start in conference play. They're 4-0. Cougars completed a 4-game sweep of Seward County yesterday down in Liberal. The Cougars had won the first 2 games of that 4-game set in Great Bend. Yesterday, Cougars roll 6-2, 17-4. They're 4-0 in the Jayhawk, 9-3 overall. Big series coming up. 4-game series against the Hutch Blue Dragons. It starts Thursday in Hutchinson with those 2 games before they return home for 2 more against the Blue Dragons at Lawson Biggs Field on Saturday. Barton softball, they are off to an 8-0 start in Jayhawk Conference play. They took 2 from Dodge City yesterday at Cougar Field, winning 7-2 and 8-0. 8-0 in the league, 11-5 overall, and the Lady Cougars will play in Arc City tomorrow for a doubleheader against Cowley. And the Kansas City Chiefs and linebacker Nick Bolton have agreed to a 3-year, $45 million contract that keeps the quarterback of their defense out of free agency. So some of the headlines and the sounds of the past 24 hours, sounds and headlines from the weekend. All right, Jim Mazunas is in. We're going to talk high school basketball, state tournament basketball, and other things on the program with Jim coming up here in just a moment. I want to remind you, Sports Day today brought to you by Equity Bank, where they add value for their customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoiston, and Larned. See the locations tab at equitybank.com for more locations. Also, Sports Day brought to you by the Animal Medical Center in Great Bend. Large or small, they take care of them all. Big Jim Mizunas, up next on Sports Day.
Jumpstart your education with Barton Online. You can pick up a class or earn an associate degree for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling. Start when it works for you. Choose from 5 sessions throughout the semester, including 16, 8, and 4-week options. Save big on the way toward your career or tackle your gen eds with our low-cost pathway. Visit online.bartonccc.edu and enroll today.
Senior Doors, this is Happy.
Look, did you see the Easter Bunny?
Really? Where?
Just kidding, but I made you look.
Mima, what does this have to do with garage doors?
Well, nothing really, but people will be happy they came to C&E Doors. We offer the best garage doors around. Plus, our service technicians can help solve any issue your garage door may have.
What does Papa do?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Garage door service and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
He's passionate about his high school sports and his trendy sports apparel. Sports Day presents the Great Bend Tribune's Jim Mizunas.
Welcome back. Sports Day here on KVGB. Brought to you by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. Freedom Claims Management, innovative healthcare plans for your business. Let them take care of everything for you from start to finish and continued support. They have you covered. And also the Barton Cougar Booster Club continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country. It's hard for me to talk about good things today, Jim Mizunas.
I understand.
I'm still sore from watching the Panthers go out last week.
Yeah, that was certainly a very tough postseason game.
And I saw, and the worst part was when we went to Hayes on Thursday, and you walk in, and Hayes High's practicing basketball.
Yeah, that had to be tough.
Yeah, the Hayes boys were preparing, and they ended up getting beat by Andover. And Tony Crow was there, too, and I don't think it was one of those comments that he made it just trying to be. He just said, yeah, they just don't want to be the number 1 overall seed. And then he realized what he said, and I don't think he was doing it to try to poke fun, but then that even dug the knife in a little bit more. Yeah, you go back to football season, number 1 overall seed in the West for football. And the Panthers ended up losing in that rainstorm to Hayes. And then, man, last Wednesday, losing to Goddard Eisenhower. I didn't see that one coming, Jim. I thought, well, maybe he gets to the championship game. You never know. Andover Central's doesn't have a great record, but they played a very good schedule this year. Andover Central goes on to 5A. But still hurting from that one.
Oh, yeah, and you saw it firsthand from Great Bend's perspective on the other side of the coin when a team that hadn't won a basketball game all season made it to the state tournament. And the game has completely changed now because if you get hot from three-point range, which Goddard Eisenhower did and Great Bend didn't, it completely changes the complexion of the game nowadays. When Ellenwood girls ended up losing, their mode of operation was consistent three-point accuracy, and that coin flipped around, and Phillipsburg hit 5 in a row, and they ended up losing. So,
and Phillipsburg wasn't really a three-point shooting team all year long.
It was just one of those things where a girl got hot, hit 3 in a row, and all of a sudden a 3-point deficit's a 6-point lead, and that was the ball game. But the game has completely changed nowadays. And you rarely see it on the girls' side, but you see it consistently on the boys' side, where a team that's won 5, 6, 7 games can pull off an upset just simply because the difference between a 6-15 team and a 18-3 team is marginal at some point in time, particularly in just a one-game situation. You just don't see it that often in the girls' side because the talent level, a 5-win girls team is exactly that. They're just a 5-win girls team. They're not going to step up and dominate a postseason game. But on the boys' side, Eisenhower showed in a one-game situation, it's possible and anything can happen. And I think that the key to that is just an underdog mentality. The approach the opposing team takes is, hey, we got nothing to lose. Let's just go out and let it fly. And that's exactly what Eisenhower did. Played with confidence and stayed in the ball game, and that's all they needed to do. And still, it was an amazing last-second play by Daxton Minton. There was no one in the state who's better at throwing a full-court pass than Daxton. Because it's like, oh, my goodness, it's going to go in.
It actually made it interesting at the end. After they put 0.3 seconds on the clock after Cohen Ho had thrown in that jump hook at the end of the game. But
give Eisenhower credit, and Coach Kyle was tremendous poise and just a testament to Great Bend's coaching staff that he took that loss in stride. He didn't let it bothered him, but he wasn't going to let that bother him when he was on the air talking to you, Steve. And congrats to Kyle for handling that so well, like a true pro.
Well, and then I would say Great Bend's going to have a great opportunity, just like they had in football and basketball, to go out and win a state championship in baseball.
Oh, no question. I mean, they've been right there in all three sports the last calendar year. A home site for baseball, being a very good high seed, and basketball and football same way. And they've got the nucleus. They've got a great junior class. They're going to be competitive in all three sports again next year. But, it's pretty promising for baseball, softball for Great Bend this spring.
Yeah, softball as well. Softball, I'm glad you mentioned that too. But, I mean, we look at these, it was a promising freshman class. It was a promising sophomore class. It was a promising junior. There's going to be a promising senior class next year coming in. And you want to see them get it done, So, anyway, I'll get over it eventually. Other teams, though, able to advance. Central Plains boys and girls, just like back in the old days now. Both Oiler teams going on. They'll play in Dodge City this week.
Yeah, it's a testament to the tradition. And I like looking up, when Central Plains was Claflin and part of Quivira Heights. It's always fun to look that up. The Central Plains girls, 18th overall as far as their program, 7 state titles for the Oilers, and then 2 for Claflin. And not ironically, Pat Stiles was part of those 2 coaching staffs when the Oilers won their first 2, so he's been part of 9 state titles on the girls' side.
All?
Yeah. And he's really done one of his best coaching jobs this year that he's ever had, because sometimes you got talent, and sometimes the talent is about even, and the talent this year for Central Plains is about even. It's not like they've got a first-team all-state player and a dominant center, nothing like that. Very good teamwork, excellent defense, and they just mix and match that together. The Simpson twins have given them a great spark as first-year players, and then Marilyn Sokin and Maggie Strauss has had a big year. So, they both had big games Saturday night and got them to the state tournament. But, 18th overall and got 9 titles. And then the Oiler boys have won 2 state titles. They had never won as Claflin. They got to the final a couple times, but they won in 2018 and 2019. And I'm sure there was a Ryan boy playing on that team for sure. And then St. John girls, they won 2009, but it's their 13th trip overall, so they've been a perennial team that qualifies too. You look at the losses, that's always what I look at. Who'd you lose to? St. John has lost to Little River twice, Central Plains twice, and Buckland, all state qualifiers. The Central Plains girls have lost to Sunrise, so we don't even count that. Inman, which is a state qualifier, and Elmwood, which was right on the doorstep of being a state qualifier. And then Central Plains boys, it's Maxville, St. John, Sterling, and Sunrise. So Sterling is the only state qualifier there. So no bad losses from any of those teams. And they all have tough first-round matches because when you have 3 losses or 5 losses like Central Plains and St. John girls, you're going to draw a top seed, and that's going to be so tough first-round game for both, and same with Central Plains boys because they got 4 losses themselves.
You know, and hats off to Danny Smith with St. John because I think people will look at that and say, well, they had everybody back last year. They only lost 1 player. Well, that player was Heidi Fisher, who was like the glue gun of that team for not last year, but I mean, she was like, I think she started all 4 years or played a lot all 4 years. That's a huge position, a huge player to have to fill in for, even though you're just losing one player.
Question.
But they overcame that and they got better as they went on throughout the season.
Yeah, and again with Centralia, they've got a tough first-round matchup, but they've beat them before in the past. So, if St. John plays their best game and Lydia Reed is able to play her game at the 6'2" center, they're going to have a chance to stay in the ball game. That's really what you hope for, is just stay in the ball game and have a chance to steal it in the fourth quarter. So.
And a tough thing with Ellenwood girls, but it was really cool talking with Greg Maxwell on the show on Friday. And he brought up something that I really like because when we're in this world of specialization, well, I don't know if I want to play basketball. I'd rather play club volleyball during the winter and not play basketball. So that's one of the things we wanted. These girls have been playing together for a long time. Volleyball is obviously important to them, but he said he wanted to get them involved and don't just be good in one thing, be good in other sports too. And basketball, they're going to volleyball and basketball. Watch out for Ellenwood.
Oh, no question. And Ellenwood girls are up 28-24. They hit their final 3-pointer. And they get outscored 19-3 in the last 5 minutes. It's just an incredible performance by Phillipsburg because they were on the ropes, and if they don't come back and play well in the next minute or two, they're going to lose the game. And credit to them, they hit a bunch of 3-pointers and scored 19 points in 5 minutes.
That's a veteran team.
Yeah, it is. It's an experienced team, and that's one of Central Plains girls' best victories when they beat Phillipsburg. And Coach Stiles recognized that. He said, "Man, that was a good win. I'm not surprised Phillipsburg made it, but because." He has been very successful playing zone matchup defense. Guess what, Coach Stiles? He trots out a man-to-man all over the court. It worked very, very well.
And then I know it's Hayes High, but man, I like watching their girls team play. It would not surprise me if they would win it all, but that is a fun team to watch. They've got everything they need, but they just destroyed Hutchinson in the sub-state championship game, and I saw that Hutch team play before. They were an 8 or 9 seed for a reason, but not to get beat 56-17.
No, I give Hayes a great chance. They've got great inside players. They've got a perimeter game, and their defense is full court. So I give Hayes girls a great chance. It's the best girls team they've ever had up there, and it never has been undefeated. A little footnote on Ellenwood boys, too. They came so close to beating Syracuse. It's like a even game, tie game right at the end, and Syracuse ends up edging them at the end. But Landon Simpson scores 23 points, plays his normal game, and has an inside shot to tie it, to send it to overtime more than likely, and just goes in and out, and just so close for all the boys. Jaron Lane just did a terrific job because Syracuse ends up winning on Saturday night and goes to the state tournament. So that's how close Ellenwood boys were, too. They
go all the way out there and you suffer a 3-point loss.
Yeah, so they were right in the game to the very end, and terrific job by Coach Lane getting his team ready to play. I mean, it's never easy getting on a bus and traveling 3+ hours like that. And they just did a nice job, and kudos to Coach Lane. Nice job this year.
Oh, and the Hodgman County girls.
Yeah.
They get into. So, I mean, they play Lebo coming up. I mean, I'm not sore at the Hodgman County teams.
Yeah, no,
just,
not at all.
Just the sheriff's office. But
yeah, that's right. But we'll just leave that to it. And the nice news about Barton County is they got a couple players in the NCAA tournament already. Miles Thompson and Ring Maleeth. SIU Edwardsville, baby.
There they are.
I accept Edwardsville as one of our nice campuses. I graduated from SIU Carbondale, so I'm an Edwardsville fan all the way in the NCAA tournament.
Which is sometimes surprising to know how low Illinois goes.
Oh, yeah, you just
Get
can't
to
believe.
no, well, I mean, you think, well, that's not Illinois is a long way. Well, no, it's not. It SIU. It's in southern Indiana or southern Illinois, right?
That's right. So the two Cougars are headed to the big dance.
Good story, by the way, on GreatBendPost.com about that. You can check it out. Also, Central Plains boys and girls mentioned they're going to be playing Wednesday and Thursday. You can hear those games on 100.7 Eagle Country. We're bringing out the big gun on this one. Randy Gehring will have the call on all the games the Oilers play in the state tournament. Anything else? I mean, I kind of glanced over the brackets a little bit, the teams that are involved from our area, but
Yeah, it's fun to see. I think, by and large, I think 3A girls and boys may be the best tournament.
It always is, isn't it, Jim?
Because it's just the mix of teams that are big enough that they draw crowds and quality enough that they have good athletes. Heston and Halstead girls both made it. They could easily play in the final Saturday, and then Heston boys made it. And Haven boys just ended up losing very, very close to Cheney. I mean,
Cheney got out to too big a lead in that game.
Yeah, and then they came back, got it within 2 or 3 late, and just were unable to overcome that deficit. But, Lonnie Paramore has just been one of the most snake-bit coaches around. I mean, their team's always quality. They're bordering on 20 wins, and they always face a very tough postseason track, and hasn't got to the state tournament in recent years, if at all.
Well,
but 3A boys and girls, it's definitely going to be
every year.
fun
I
one.
think that's you get, like you said, there's enough spread in enrollment range there that you get some.
Yeah, Silver Lake boys and girls are always there. Heston boys and girls are both there. It's a high quality tournament. Goodland will have their K-State recruit dunking on people. So Lincoln Cure. I'll bet the over/under on Lincoln first game will be 2 dunks. So
Okay, all right, very good. All right, Jim, you're done for a couple weeks. Sports Day goes on spring break.
Okay, when are we going to reconvene?
Well, I don't know yet.
Okay,
Depends on when I get back. So
okay, well, we hope you get back. You got your
I
passport?
don't have any backups anymore. So when I leave, Landon says he doesn't want to host the show while I'm gone. So this was a big opportunity for him. But did you change your mind, Landon?
No, not yet.
Okay, all right. very
Okay,
good.
at least he's still considering
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Jim, thanks a bunch.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good luck on your trip, Steve.
Okay, Jim Mizunas joining us here on Sports Day. We'll talk Barton Wrestling. Nathan Brockman up next here on Sports Day.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Ryan, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back, Sports Day here on this Monday, brought to you by C&E Doors in Great Bend. Follow the orange sign south of 10th and Harrison in Great Bend, and Great Bend Recreation Commission, dedicated to improving our community and the lives of its individuals. All right, Barton Wrestling this weekend at the National Tournament in Council Bluffs, Iowa. And Nathan Brockelman in with us right now. Coach, good experience. That was a neat picture that you guys had up there. National Tournament, you bring in 5 guys. That's something that those kids are always going to remember. I'm sure you will with this group and where you're at with the Barton program right now.
Yeah, it was a pretty good weekend for us. We would have liked to have got someone on the podium, and but it was much improvement over the year before. One qualifier last year that went 0-2, and we had 5 qualifiers this year, and 3 of the 5 won matches. Another one lost in the last 5 seconds that went 0-2, and lost some tight matches to continue going on and things. Lost to some of the guys that were on the podium by a couple points or last-second takedown here and there or things like that. But it was a great experience for those guys, and some of them are kind of maybe thinking they might want to continue on of the 4 that were sophomores. Jamal got a little experience under his belt for next year. So
let's talk about Skylar McMullen's day. He goes 2-2 along with Jarrett Mater. We'll start with Skylar first.
Yeah, Skylar wrestled pretty well. His first match, not so well. He looked a little bit off, and then he just kind of started doing what Skylar does and picked up 2 falls. And actually, in his match that he lost, he actually was winning until like 10 seconds left, got taken down, went down by 1. We were up by 1, but it was they had riding time, and so they were going to tie it up to go into overtime, and so he knew all he had to do was get an escape or reversal or something, just get away in the last 10 seconds, and unfortunately he got cheap tilted for 2 instead of getting away. So instead of sending it into overtime, or possibly getting an escape to win it because of the ride time, we got turned with about 5-6 seconds left and lost instead. But that kid went on, and I can't remember if he won his next match or not. But it was good weekend for Skylar. Taking a year off. I should have been more selfish with him, I guess, instead of letting him go play football for a year. And might have been some of it too. But I was happy to have him back and wish him well.
That's hard to do. Come back after not wrestling for a year.
Yeah.
And come back and do it again, especially, weight and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Jarrett Mater, he went 2-2 as well.
He went 2-2 as well. We talked about his first-round match last year. We thought it was going to be a decent matchup, because he had an unseeded wrestler, but unfortunately the number 4 kid in the nation was our first-round match because he didn't place in the top 2 of his region either, and honestly, we should have beat him. We got taken down with like 10 seconds left, got a reversal with like 3 seconds left. It should have been going into overtime, and then Clackamas's like 15 coaches that they had on the floor came and started arguing that the table workers weren't doing things right and blah, blah, blah. And looking back at the film, I think there shouldn't have been a riding time point, in that both the official of the match and the head official reviewing the tape got it wrong. But we'll never know. I think we should have at least been into overtime, but unfortunately we lost by 1 because of riding time. But yeah, they had like their whole 15, however many coaches they had on the floor. I don't know. There's a bunch of dudes over in that corner, and it was just me and Jarrett sitting across the way, trying to get ready for overtime because I felt it should have been overtime. The explanation I got wasn't even correct from the officials. I went and talked to the head official of the whole tournament, and he said, sorry, we'll get it better next time, But
that makes you feel good.
But he still wrestled well, came back after that, got 2 tech falls. And then his last match, he was two away from placing, and the last match that he lost, that kid ended up taking 7th, So whether he would have won that match, would he had a better draw on the backside, I don't know. That kid didn't place either, So, but they both kind of got out around the same time. But he wrestled well. I know he's looking at maybe wrestling somewhere else. He's talking to a few schools, so we'll kind of help make him make a choice to see where he can land next year. So,
how happy was Nathan when he got the win?
Nate was happy, and actually he was winning the match that he got beat too. Got kind of caught in a little roll and right on the edge of the mat. I couldn't quite tell. It looked to me like they might have been out of bounds. I knew if I would challenge it, that there's no way the camera could have said if it was out of bounds or not. But it was close. Unfortunately, sometimes those big guys, when you land on your back, there's not a lot you can do to get out. But he was winning that match when he got beat. The first kid he wrestled in the first match was the number 4 seed. He went on to take fourth in the tournament. And actually, we weren't wrestling that kid too bad. Almost had a couple takedowns on him, different things like that. But he was excited. He was happy to get a win. It's probably, honestly, the best tournament I've seen him wrestle. It's just we got, tough matchup in the first round with the guy that took fourth in the tournament. And on the backside, just had a slip-up. And unfortunately, when that happens at the national tournament, if it's your last one, that's it, So Caden Blake and Jamal also, they both went 0-2, but they wrestled well. Jamal just needed like 2 more seconds to get a takedown in the first period, or in the first match, to continue on and win that match. He lost 6-4. And then on the backside, I kind of knew his second match wasn't a very good matchup for us. A kid had tech failed us earlier in the year, just kind of looking at the draws. So I knew that first match was crucial, and he was very close to getting a takedown. Lost 6-4. Just needed a couple seconds. Ended up getting teched on the back, and then Caden Blake was feeling much better. Wrestled a lot better. Some of it's just he's a little bit undersized, and but overall it was a good weekend. I think we took 37th or 36th as a team, and I think there was almost 60 schools there. So much better than last year when I think we were one of the bottom 60, that didn't score any points.
Yeah,
so
yep.
Scored some team points, got some wins. We were in the very last round of the morning session. The second session means that you win one match basically, and you go to national, and you're All-American. So we're right there where we needed to be. Just didn't quite get it, and big steps for the future.
Okay, second year comes to an end, and you making the long trip back. I'm sure you're thinking about things, about this season, what you're looking for. But where's Barton Wrestling at right now? I mean, as you conclude your second season.
I think we're in a good spot. Just need to keep going and keep bringing in guys that are going to help us to continue to get better. I think it's going to get better and better every year. Just lost a kid to a 4-year school actually this morning, but that's part of the game. So we just move on and find another kid, and excited to see where some of these guys end up that go on from here, and excited to see what this freshman class brings. And the grind never stops. We're still talking to kids. We'll be into kids club practice these next couple nights to help the little kids get ready for their kids state tournament, and we'll go to spring break and then come back for Freestyle Greco. So
always helps. You have 5 in a national tournament, not only for those kids obviously, but the rest of your program, and maybe kids looking to come here next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely got a lot of messages from guys that I'm talking to about the progress that was made, and they're excited, and just got to get them to sign up, sign their LOI or commit at least. They could commit verbally, but I don't take a lot into that anymore. Honestly. Yeah. Too many kids change their minds, which is okay, but.
Okay, last year was the first Kansas Wrestling Coaches Association Kansas Shrine Duels. I know you were really involved with that, but 4 area wrestlers will be representing the West squad from here. Emma Hahn from Ellenwood, Jaden Nye from Hoisington, Taryn Kraft from Hoisington, and Jace Schartz from Great Bend. How involved were you with that this year? I imagine probably.
Yeah, I was involved pretty heavily, just like I was last year. I did a lot of the boys' selections. We're still, unfortunately, trying to find 2 more people still that backed out over the weekend. But we'll get a couple guys in there that are going to want to represent the East. They're on the East side at least, not the West side. Yeah. But still got to find a couple guys to get back in there after we thought we were all done with selections. We just went ahead and produced the list out there because we knew most of those guys were guaranteed. So the little bit of issue is just the timing of it. There's Heartland Duels and Virginia Beach Nationals, so we're losing some guys to those events, but it'll still be a great event, and we're looking forward to hosting that. I think we're hosting it back at Newman again, so should be a good tournament or a good duel. I think there's 15 matches on the boys and girls side, so some area kids that will be able to go represent as well.
That'll be March 29th on the campus of Newman University Fugate Gymnasium, and gates open at 1 o'clock. Opening ceremony will begin at 2. Nathan, it's been great. No one promotes their sport more than you do, and certainly appreciate it. And you coming in and promoting wrestling here on Sports Day.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, Nathan Brockelman with us. We'll talk Barton Cougar basketball up next with Alan Clark. Stay with us.
As a farmer, I have thousands of more mouths to feed than the average person. What fuels me to get the job done?
the smell of the soil, and the hum of the combine. What fuels my equipment? Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster, a premium diesel fuel for the most challenging conditions, better than any formula yet, delivering maximum uptime every time. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster, fueled by innovation, powered to perform.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor.
Barton Community College's carpentry program is evolving to better meet industry needs. Barton is now offering construction technology. Workers are in high demand for the construction industry, and with hands-on training in framing, roofing, siding, and more, this program will put you on the fast track to join the workforce swiftly after graduation. This one-semester certificate will give you the skills you need to build your future. Enrollment is open now. To learn more, visit construction.bartoncccc.edu.
See, this is happy.
Look, did you see the Easter Bunny?
Really? Where?
Just kidding, but I made you look.
Mima, what does this have to do with garage doors?
Well, nothing really, but people will be happy they came to C&E Doors. We offer the best garage doors around. Plus, our service technicians can help solve any issue your garage door may have.
What does Papa do?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Garage door service and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powson, president of your local equity bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Sports Day also brought to you by the Barton Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country. And Freedom Claims Management, innovative healthcare plans for your business. Let them take care of everything for you from start to finish and continued support. They have you covered. Head coach Alan Clark, Barton Lady Cougar basketball in studio today. They picked up a win in the Region 6 tournament on Saturday, able to defeat Garden City 66-58. Had it all the time, you know. What you had it, you didn't. You had it, you didn't. There's like 13 lead changes. Pretty good basketball game.
Yeah, I think it would have been a good game to watch. Yeah, you know, as a fan. But yeah, it was back and forth.
Big run right at the end of the game helps get that victory.
Yeah, we got a couple turnovers late. Like I say, back and forth, and then they had taken the lead, and then with about 2 minutes to go, we threw the ball inside to Vivian. She kicked it out to Kiana. Kiana made a really quick touch pass to Brittany Simpson for a three, and Brittany knocked it down. We never trailed after that. We got a turnover or two, and we're able to score, and we opened up the lead. It was much closer than 8 points.
That team in November won that game?
Would we have won the game in November? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah,
this team's improved a lot.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Brittany shooting the ball with confidence now, and I mean, you just look at her percentage over the last month or two, and we need that from her because everybody's doubling Vivian on the block, and Elena's shot the ball well. You know, and we played a triangle and two most of the game, and Elena and Regina are chasing around their two guards all over the court, and they just played the rear ends off. I think Brittany played 39 minutes, Elena played 40, Vivian played 40. I mean, but you know, that time of the year, the bench shortens.
Yeah. I love defenses like that.
The junk stuff?
Oh, the junk. But some of I'm not going to play that because we're just going to play this. I tell you what, some of those defenses, if you pull them out at the right time, they're a great strategy.
And depending on the opponent and what they can do. And for us, Garden City was, we played the same thing when we played them here earlier. And unfortunately, this time, number 5 for Garden City went 5 for 21 from 3, knocked down 5. Percentage-wise, that's not a great percentage, but still knocked down 5 threes. But I like our chances when the other kids for for Garden City weren't able to score.
I compare maybe what Vivian has done, the numbers she puts up all the time, is kind of like, when Central Plains was winning like 130 games in a row, if you're around it all the time, it's okay, well, that's cool. It's 29 points, 21 rebounds. It's incredible, Alan.
And doggone her, if she had 2 free throws, she could made one of those. She got 30. But
she's been shooting those better too.
Yeah, she has 11 for 16 in the game. But yeah, I mean, you just take her for granted,
Yeah.
And the part that some people maybe not understand too is not only is she getting 29 and 21, but it's opening things up for other people because they have, most teams have to double her and try to, guard her with 2 people instead of 1. And so obviously somebody else should be open. So it helps the whole team when Vivian, when she's playing like that, it helps the whole team, obviously.
Those numbers, is that what you saw when you recruited her?
Yes and no. I mean, had Vera been back, obviously those numbers would be down because Vera would have been taking some of those, some of those rebounds away from her. But without Vera here, Vivian has just stepped out, and I think she has a shot at being All-American. And we talked during the summer. One of the fun things for me to do is with international kids. I did it with Vanessa, I did it with Queen, I did it with several of them. During the summer, Vivian and I would jump in my car and we'd go out and drive the county roads and teach her how to drive. And she wants to get her driver's license. And during those times when we're out driving the county roads, I'm talking to her about, what her goals are and what she needs to be doing and how many rebounds she needs to get and talking to her about being an academic, or not only being an academic All-American, being an All-American this year. And I think she's got a real shot at that.
Driver's ed teacher?
Yeah, hopefully the Barton County Sheriff's Department's not listening.
Well, see, when you're a driver's ed teacher, didn't you have that brake on your side?
Well, that can be kind of scary. I don't have a brake on my side.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was teaching my kids how to drive. So I watched my dad. He was driver's ed, but he had the brake over there. That was kind of nerve-wracking.
But we were obviously very careful. We did a lot of slow moving stuff before we got out on the county road. And that's what you get on the county road in Kansas. There's not a lot of people out there anyway. So,
Alan Clark with us. His team will play at Dodge City tomorrow night in the quarterfinals. Okay, third crack at these guys this year. How's Dodge City changed throughout the year? How are they playing right now? What do you think?
Well, they're not going to change a lot. They've been pretty much the same team all year. They love to shoot the 3-point shot. They play a lot of zone. They've got good length. They got good size. They make it really tough for everything you do. That's the reason they're 26-4. Unfortunately for them, they lost in overtime to Hutch this past weekend, actually that was last Wednesday. But I'm sure they're going to want to bounce back from that. So, we got to guard the arc. They're just a very talented team.
So the first 2 meetings, and your team's been able to see this club and, what they're all about. What's the vibe you get from your team right now?
I think they know that we've got to play our best. We're going to have to play really well. I think they're realistic about that. But I also think that they know it's March Madness, and this time of year, if we can get Brittany and Elena to continue to knock down some shots, and we can get Vivian going in the lane, and it really comes down to our defense, though. It comes down to being able to hold them. The first time they got 90 on us, or 92, and last time they only got 70, which was obviously a plus. But we need to hold them down even more than that, and we got to rebound better. We got to take better care of the ball. We turned it over too much the first time we played them. We showed them on film, and last time we played them, into the third quarter, we were down 6 points. At one point, we actually had the ball with a chance to cut it to one possession, and we missed the shot. But then we turned around and we put the film on with Hutch, and Hutch was down 13 in the third quarter. So we were actually closer at that point in the game than Hutch was. We just got to finish the game out. It's got to be a 40-minute game. We just got to believe that we've got a shot, and we just got to put it all together.
Dodge City women's basketball kind of is getting a following out there. I'm sure it'll be a rowdy crowd tomorrow, so the team needs to go in there and have a good first quarter, I would think.
Yeah, I think we need to. We can't let them get away from us early. they will, I'm sure, have a good crowd. I'm not sure. It's a 7 o'clock game, so it's the only game of the night. They do have a Dodge City girl on the team. They have a girl from Jetmore on the team, so they've got a couple, local kids that helps them get a few more fans into the stands. So yeah, it ought to be interesting.
Alan, thanks for coming in today. It's going to be a great environment tomorrow. As we said, go shock the world. That'd be cool.
Thanks, Steve.
Alan Clark joining us here on Sports Day. And again, you can hear Barton basketball, women's basketball here on KVGB tomorrow night, starting at 6:45 with the pregame show. Cougar men on B1043. The Point is their home against Cloud County. We'll be back, wrap up Sports Day after this.
Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, and today we want to give a shout out to all the supporting cast at these basketball games. We have some great young men and young women on the court, but we also have some great young men and women playing their instruments, cheering, dancing, all those things. Let's clap for them. When they perform and get done, let's show them a round of applause, show them some love as well, because they deserve it. Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, large or small, we take care of them all.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend. Or check out the website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's need. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimsinc.com where you can schedule a free, no obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Also empowered by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. And don't forget Central Plains Oiler basketball on 100.7 Eagle Country. We'll have all the coverage from Dodge City for the state tournaments get underway on Wednesday with the Lady Oilers and the Central Plains boys playing on Thursday. Randy Gehring will have the call for you on 100.7 Eagle Country. Tomorrow on the show, we'll talk with Cole Reif about Barton at Dodge City and Cloud County in Great Bend to take on Barton. We'll also talk with Michael Ryan, head coach of the Central Plains boys, and we'll talk to Gerard Walbrock tomorrow on a Tuesday. Sports Day is going on a spring break hiatus starting on Wednesday. Fort Hays State men go to Kansas City, win the MIAA tournament, and that got them into the NCAA Division II Central Region. And we'll talk about their matchup with Minnesota State Moorhead. Lady Tigers, they finished second. They lost to Pittsburgh State in the championship game. Now they go to Pitt for the Central Regional. We'll talk all about it tomorrow with Gerard Walbrock on Sports Day. That's our show today. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate all our sponsors helping to bring you local sports talk in the Golden Belt right here on KVGB.